What's going on, you guys? If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and welcome back to another video. So it's officially June 1st. So what does that mean? That means the start of a brand new hurricane season. So luckily we don't live on the coast of Galveston, so we don't have to experience the harsh conditions of hurricanes. But unfortunately, we still have to worry about hurricanes in general. If y'all don't know, if y'all are not from Texas or have not really paid attention to the hurricane stuff, back in 2017, Hurricane Harvey decimated the city of Houston and surrounding areas, which included the area I'm in. Luckily, we were actually in Dallas at the time, so we missed out on Hurricane Harvey. I was actually, I believe, in high school. I think I was about to graduate high school, maybe. But anyways, I digress. I can't honestly remember. I think I was still in high school at the time. But anyways, so this was back in 2017. It's 2025 now, so that was 8 years ago. So yeah, I was still in high school, I think. But anyways, or I had just graduated. So with this many dogs, you can say that it can be a little bit tough to have to deal with a hurricane if we have to evacuate or something comes up. Well, luckily we haven't had to evacuate. The house is sort of on blocks that we're in right now. So hopefully that does take care of a bit of the problem if it does decide to flood. You know, my back porch is a lot higher up compared to ground level, which so it's a house basically. So hopefully it's a little bit of a less of a problem that we have to deal with. But that does start to beg the question of what happens if we do lose power. Am I prepared? So here are 5 things we do to get ready for hurricane season and 5 things that we do have ready when we have this many dogs. So I do have a truck. I have a Chevy Silverado and I have a Ford Edge. Well, my Ford is in disarray right now. Still needs a lot of work done. It's still drivable. Doesn't have any AC, which I just ordered a battery powered fan technically for my dog stroller. So luckily, if I can add that to the car if I do have to take the car. But an influx of kennels. So I have a lot of kennels in the house. And I have a ton of kennels still out in the shed. So I always have my vehicles loaded with kennels just in case we do have to move. But it is a problem to do that in my truck because the truck doesn't have a lot of room. Even if I were to put the seats down, that still won't fit a lot of kennels in the truck. So that is a bit of a problem. If I put the seats down, I could probably fit 6 kennels in the back and 1 kennel in the front. And then, of course I can put them in the back, but I don't have a camper or anything to put on the back of my truck. So I technically can't put them in the bed of the truck. Now, if I got a camper, like a back camper that goes over the bed, I could probably put them in the bed. But I don't have that right now, so that's not going to happen. It would make my life easier to have that so I could add more dog kennels to the truck and then cut something in the back so they had AC going in and out or have a window so they could have, some sort of airflow going in and out. But that is something for the future to think about because we just hit hurricane season. Is June 1st. But kennels. Having the truck loaded with kennels no matter what. I do know who gets along, so I know who can't be kenneled together for the most part. The only one I might have problems with other males would be Heimdall and Chubby. But Chubby, it gets along with a lot of the other males, certain to like maybe Zero and Fuzzy. And then Heimdall, he can just be a turd sometimes, but putting him with the girls is very, very easy if something did come up. Now, my car can fit a lot more than that. I think when I moved, I fit... Well, no, I have the seat down. I think I fit like 6 kennels in there, and I could put just to move with them, I could put quite a few dogs in there. And then I can fit 1 in the front seat, so that's 7. No, I could only fit 2, 4, 5 kennels in the truck, and I could put 7 kennels in the car. But because I'm by myself, I'd have to weigh that difference very, very heavily. Influx of food. So dog food is very, very important, obviously. I can go some amount of time without eating. I can handle it as, canned food. It's not a big deal for me to go, like, have small meals here and there. Because some days I just don't eat, period, because of how things have been lately and how stressed I've been lately. Some days I don't eat. But the dogs have to eat every day. So I have Isabel! So I have 9 bags of puppy food, and I have 4 bags of adult dog food. Currently, right now, I still have more coming in. But I always try to have an influx of dog food because you never know when you're going to need it if you have a power outage or something like that. We do use kibble, obviously. It's nothing that has to be frozen or refrigerated. So, I always have an influx of dog food because you never know when you're going to need it. Better safe than sorry. Number 3, generator. So my parents were over here today. My dad was to help me with the generator. So I have this generator that I got from my ex, or from my deceased spouse. And so I have this power generator, this really, really strong generator. Hasn't been used in over a year because we had a hurricane, it was a Category 1 hurricane. It was a Category 1 hurricane, and it came through, and we had to use it. So it hasn't been used since then. It's been over a year now, I believe. Or no, almost a year now. So it hasn't been used. I didn't know how to make it work, but I did figure it out. My dad figured it out. I have gas. I have an extra extension cord, or not, it's even longer than an extension cord. So if I have to use it, I can use it. The dogs are what I'm worried about the most, making sure that they're taken care of. I have kennels so I can keep the cord off the ground because I do have a few cord chewers. But again, it's something to be prepared for, knowing how the generator works, now being able to start it, everything. I'm actually prepared for it now, where I'll be able to start it to the best of my abilities. And luckily, if I can't, my parents are like 15-20 minutes away if I need help. But for the most part, I should be able to get it on my own because I have learned today how to use it, just in case, which this was planned for a while. But I'm glad I know now, because you never know when you're going to need it. 4, extra anything in terms of antibiotics, medicine, ointments, basically a first aid kit for me and the dogs, because you never know, something could happen and you need a first aid kit. We got hit with a pretty bad storm the other day, and a branch fell from a tree outside and slammed into the house. You never know when you're going to need something to help with the dogs. You never know when you're going to just in general need something, whether I get hurt or one of the dogs get hurt. So I always have a first aid kit, especially for the dogs. For me, it's if a Band-Aid can cover it with Neosporin, I have Band-Aids and Neosporin. But for the dogs, I have ointments, I have ear wash, I have a quick powder, because the quick powder will help stop bleeding in a pinch. It's not a good idea to use it, but if I can't get to a vet and something happens, I have quick powder for that. Better safe than sorry, basically. Number 5, and this is something I don't have yet, but I need to get: coolers. So, just anything to keep anything in regarding coolers, whether it's stuff I need cold for the dogs or cold for myself. This is something I still have to go get. I plan to go get extra coolers, whether it's the foam coolers or actually a big cooler. I have vaccinations that I want to keep cold, but luckily, those are replaceable. But anything that I need to keep cold, that whether it's water or drinks or something for the dogs. The antibiotics have to be kept cold, so want an influx of antibiotics, or I need a cooler to keep the antibiotics cold, because I always keep antibiotics no matter what, whether it's during hurricane season or otherwise. But hurricane season in Texas can be pretty rough depending on where you're at and depending on the hurricane. So we are getting prepared. There's a bunch more tips that I have, and a bunch more things that I do to get prepared, and things that I need to get, but things that I have prepared just in case a hurricane hits. So, better safe than sorry, especially with this many dogs, especially with the nursery dogs. I think our biggest problem is keeping the nursery dogs cool or warm when we get hit with this hurricane, because they do need a red light, a heating, or when I say red light, a heating lamp or a heating pad for the younger puppies. So that's something I need to go get. Not extension cords, but the little oh my goodness, the 5-way plugs. I need to go get one of those for the dogs, just in case, because you never know when you're going to need it. I think I have an extra one outside. But it can be a lot with this many dogs, but we try to get prepared because there's no dog left behind. I don't care if I have to leave somebody behind, I will stay. But I'm trying to keep everybody prepared. I try to be prepared. Try to keep my vehicles loaded with kennels, because you never know when you're going to need it, especially if we have to get out fast. The hardest part is just moving mamas and puppies, because that's a challenge in itself with the other dogs. So eventually I'd like to get them a travel trailer so we can move a lot easier if we have to, which that is honestly the plan. I'm not going to lie. That is the plan eventually. But we've got a long way to go before we do anything. But anyways, that's the 5 things I do and have ready just in case we get hit with a hurricane, because hurricane season has officially started. But if you have any tips or recommendations, if you've been through one, this is my first hurricane this is my first hurricane season by myself without any family in the house with me, whether it be a spouse or my parents. So I don't really know how to feel about it. I hate storms. I don't do well with storms. Sprite doesn't do well with storms. A lot of the dogs don't do well with storms. Anyways, if you got any tips, recommendations, leave them down below in the comments. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as usual, you guys, I'll see you guys next time in the next video. See you guys.